So, part 4 on how I escaped the covert narcissist ex wife. I had stayed the night in the Hilton. I had a great night. I'd spoken to a lot of very lovely women. Too young for me, though. They were all college age. Um, but it made me feel better. They gave me their numbers and stuff like that. It's surprising how being a good, positive, happy person attracts people, especially good quality women. It's really something. But I was just being able to be myself again, and it was just so freeing. It was just, it was just so nice. And the next day, I get back to the house, and I'm pretty sure I shared this in the last one. I barricaded the room. Um, And on other days when she was at the house and I could not get from the garage to the room because she was fucking terrifying to be around, I would stay in this car in the yard at work. I was just staying at work. I got no friends or family out here. And I told you she refused to give me a break ever because a narcissist does not know boundaries. They have boundaries for themselves, but you don't get any boundaries. And if it gets to the point where they see that boundaries need to be drawn for you, they will cross it just for fun, just to spite you. They're terrible. So what happened here was I finally get the apartment and everything. And while I'm there at the house, I'm thinking to myself if I should look into her and pull up all the footage and surveillance around the house I have access to or not. Now, with me, I'm really big on women's rights, privacy. Even when I was with her, it's important if you're in a relationship with someone for them to have friends, the woman to have friends, to go out and vent to her friends if her husband's driving her nuts with anything. She needs that outlet. It's healthy. But she refused to go out with friends. And she yelled at me saying she didn't want to have friends or be around people or get a job and know people at work because she doesn't like other people, you know? So without her venting to anyone or anything like that, I was always kind of concerned. But her overall behavior, not just that, was extremely concerning. So because I don't want to get into her privacy and I don't want to, you know what I mean, I don't want to be that type of person who's snooty. I finally realized it's like, wait a second, my perspective and everything on my need for her having privacy and all that is getting in the way of common sense protection and protocols I should be taking just to protect myself from her. And I wasn't thinking of that. I wasn't thinking logically. I still was thinking about her rights and her privacy and not violating that. And I know that sounds ridiculous, and it is, but I'm that big on um I'm that serious about mental health, especially for women. I mean, I rewrote all restraining order law for Indiana, submitted it, and it passed, became law on January 1st, 2017. And that's not the first law that I've gotten passed, but that's how seriously I take it. So I pull footage from everywhere, and I take other means too, where I invested into having her looked into when it came to other things, you know. Um, as far as things going on social media wise and online activity wise, I go ahead and I reach out and I use my resources to get all the information. And while other people were working on getting uh, information for me, I was just pulling the footage from the surveillance system, which when I looked at that and I saw her report, it did not match. But here's the thing, and this is a big deal. After she attacked me, then called the police and lied to them, she did a follow up and went to the police station a few days later and then showed bruising that supposedly was from me. And she could not explain how it got there. She could not talk about any altercation on how any contact was made. As a matter of fact, her story did not make sense at all. It was like an Amber Heard situation. It's like, okay. And this was from the phone conversation I heard her have with someone else, talking about I didn't know what it was, but I just thought when he rushed me and I could see murder in his eyes. And she was saying crap like that, which was just hilarious. And I stood up for myself and I thought I'm not going to be a victim, not today. And I don't know how I did it, but he went and he grabbed my throat, and it's like, wait a second, you grabbed your throat. You have pictures of the bruising around your breasts and around these areas. And he grabbed the throat. What? And then I just swung away, and the way she talked about it was she swung away and moved to the right and ran outside to the right when the outside was behind her, behind the hallway, and she would have had to go to the left. When she did her fake fall, she went to the left when she said, I'm calling the police. So when she was talking about this, it's like you went through the wall and then ended up through another wall where like, what? Her whole story was not making sense. So when I got the footage that picked up the phone conversation, because she wasn't thinking about the fact that the windows that she opened now allowed the surveillance system to pick up all of her conversations loud and clear, just perfectly, and I was able to access it remotely. The cloud. Now I had upgraded this thing to 8 terabytes, and it had over 2 weeks of 24 hours looping in high def. So I had 16 cameras total, I think. And I was able to get the police report, get her statement that she was saying on the phone, and then what she told the cops. And I thought, wow, these cops should have arrested her right away because she did keep changing her story when the police were there. Um, which is why the DA didn't pursue it, you know. But let me see what time it is. But I only have 5 minutes. What happened here was I saw I was not crazy. And then I got the report back when it had to do with her social media stuff. And this person was completely fucking different person. Completely different person than what she tried to act like around me. I saw that she had her own life, that she viewed me as just someone to pay for everything for her so she could just live her own weird alternate lives online. But her true desires, the things that she liked, I always try to make it seem like I was into more kinky things because she said she hated sex, and it turned out she was into crazy fucking shit. And I try to make it seem like I was into different things in order for her to feel comfortable and say, you know what, this is the stuff I like. And instead, she just kept everything to herself, and she had her own sex life and everything. That's why I wasn't allowed to touch her. No affection. We never watched TV together. We had no quality time. To her, a marriage was okay, we get married. You come in here, you take care of me. We have completely different lives. We don't talk to each other. We don't communicate. Absolutely nothing. That's how it was for her. And when I saw the way that she was, uh, when I saw who she really was, when I put everything together and saw that she was a compulsive liar and saw how she couldn't care less about after years of me being loving, nurturing, caring for her and doing all this stuff for her mental well-being. She was just like, "Okay, so you're done giving me all this money and giving me all this stuff. You can go now." That's it. No remorse, no regret, no anything like that. She just didn't care. Um that was really hard, and it's still really hard today to know that someone can be like that. It's it's really difficult, but because they're not human. You know what I mean? It's like, wow, that person is not human. So I found out. This is when I found out that for years she had been lying about me to people. Like so much she never told the truth. What I know, she never told anyone the truth about me unless she was trying to brag as far as I have a husband who can buy me this and this and this. This is what he does for me. It's so great. That's what it was like. And her evil, conniving um, behavior online when it came to finding victims and really pushing them and making fun of them and laughing at them for their loss. Um, and saying, I'm glad your child died because they had such a terrible parent and shit like that. Once I saw how serious that was, I was really surprised. But it's like, whoa, this is scary. And later, I realized that all the stuff that had to do with covert narcissism, when I saw a specialist, that specialist said, when you became friends online, was she silent for the first month or two till she started talking to you? And no, she didn't ask me. She said, "Sir, when you and her first became friends online, she didn't talk to you for the first month or two." And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Yeah, I already know." She said because she was doing reconnaissance on you in order to find a way to manipulate you, so she would know how to make you feel sorry for her in order for you to start taking care of her. And that was scary because I looked into it and saw that's completely true. That's something that they do. You see what time it is? Okay. Um, So yeah, at that point, I really protected myself. I had cut right through my finger and hit my bone because she got home and I was so scared trying to drill screws in the ground to barricade the door. I lost it. Did that. I didn't care at all. I got blood all over the place. She saw in the bathroom. She knocked on the door, asked if I'm okay. I'm like, I'm fine. It's like I don't want anything to do with you. But when she saw that, I know where her mind went. Is that as far as he killed himself, and I could have a sob story talking about how my husband committed suicide, and how I just tried so hard to nurture and love him and everything, and I'm so heartbroken. Boy, people feel so sorry for me. I would love that pity. But anyway, for now, unfortunately, I gotta go. I thought this would be the last one, but I guess I'll be back for part 5.